What's going on, everyone? So, Draymond Green, right? He just cannot get out of his own way. Right? Now he's, going on his little rant, like, they're trying to push this agenda. No one's trying to push anything. You have a history of being just overly aggressive, right? Being, committing silly, just careless fouls and, flagrants and stuff, right? You built your reputation. It's not like the reputation just came out of left field. Like Draymond's acting like, I can't, I am appalled. I have never done anything. Like it's silly. It's such a silly argument. Like, you know who you are. The NBA isn't out to get you. If anything, the NBA is trying to protect you. He should have been ejected on several occasions. He should have already been, suspended for games and stuff, but they keep circumventing it. Instead of giving him a tech, they give him a flagrant, right? He's been called out by even Draymond fans, people that love Draymond, of like, man, the NBA is really kind of giving him a long leash, right? So again, how do you go from that to like, I'm being targeted, it's an agenda, right? Like, again, look at the plays. The NBA isn't just like making stuff up. It wasn't like, you bumped into a guy and they were like, that's it, flagrant, technical. No, you're literally like throwing your hands and hitting people in the face. You have a history of kicking people in the nuts. You have a history of punching people in the face. You have a history of choking people out. You built the reputation. You did it. No one did it to you. There was no agenda. If anything, you probably got the biggest leash, longest leash I have ever seen for a player, right? Like, for an NBA that is like terrified of any player saying anything or doing anything or being overly physical or aggressive, for an NBA that is petrified and does everything they can to try to have this like crystal clean image, right? They let him do almost anything he wants. And that's fine. Right? If you want the leash, have the leash, but you can't get it and then complain and cry about it, right? Now it makes you look foolish, right? Like, again, name me another player in the league that can do half of the things Draymond has done, even just in this Minnesota series. Remove all the history, remove everything, remove all of it, right? What flagrant has he gotten that he didn't deserve? What technical has he gotten that he didn't deserve, right? What other player in the league would be able to do the things that he has done and wouldn't be ejected, suspended, or, have a much worse, harsh, fine, whatever, right? I would love to hear people try to list several players that would get the leash that he has. I mean, that guy, it is unbelievable, right? But again, keep your mouth shut. That's the thing. Like, if you want to rant and talk like, whatever, but you can't play victim when you're the guy that is doing it. Like, if I have a history of, beating people up and I walk into a room and everyone's like, oh, be careful, Tyler's here. He's going to hit somebody. Right. And I'm like, why does everyone just think I'm going to hit him? Right. Like, every time you go into a room, you hit somebody. Of course, everyone's going to think that. Right. If I have a history of stealing, right, and I walk into a place, people might look at me a little different. If I go to somebody's house and it's like, dude, you've broken into like 15 homes, man. Like, I don't want you near that stuff over there. Stay away from that stuff over there, right? And I'm like, oh, wow, everyone just thinks I'm a thief. Like, you are a thief. Like, it's so silly to me. Again, if I was Draymond, I would just be like, hey, I'm out here playing hard, whatever. Give the generic answer, right? Like, my complaint isn't even what he's doing, even though I do think it's ridiculous, but the NBA allows him to do it. So like, what are you going to say? What are you going to do? Right? If that's what they're allowing him to do, if he's allowed to have these antics and do all this stuff, fine, so be it. But you can't do it and do it your entire career. Literally, this wasn't like a one-off, like, oh man, he's just having a bad, run this minute. Like, no. If anything, some of the things that he's gotten in trouble for have been light compared to that. And that's probably why he's complaining. He's like, dude, I've kicked people in the nuts and didn't even get in trouble, right? I've punched people in the face and didn't even get in trouble, right? Kevin Durant left because the Warriors didn't say anything to Draymond, right? Like, Draymond, look, is an incredible player, right? The guy is arguably one of the most impactful players in history, right? Look, I have said on several occasions, Draymond is like Steph is obviously the guy. Draymond was, in my opinion, was always the second guy. Like, Clay was great. Clay was fine. But if Clay would have left 5 years earlier, I still think the Warriors probably win multiple championships. It's probably still do stuff. Draymond is he is such an incredible player that it's so frustrating that he does the antics that he does because it takes away from how good he is. Instead of people having the conversation and narrative of how great Draymond is, you get the narrative and the conversation of like these silly over-the-top antics that he continuously does. It takes away from his greatness. And it's so frustrating because he is so good. Dude, that guy is incredibly impactful. That guy might arguably be the best defensive player we have ever seen. Right? I mean, the clinics that he puts on defensively, the way that he's able to control a game at times, right? Like, I mean, it's remarkable. The guy is an incredible talent that just continuously can't get out of his own way. And it is so frustrating to watch. It really is. It's so frustrating watching Draymond just stumble over himself time and time again and then wants to play the victim. It's like, dude, you don't get both, right? Either keep doing what you're doing and just, and you just give the generic thing, or change your antics and then complain about it when you've changed it. It's like, dude, I haven't been doing that and I'm getting all that. Like when it's justified. But you can't, clearly start smacking and elbowing. I mean, he's just flailing out there and he knows what he's doing. Like, stop. Right? There's a sequence, I think it was Nas Reed, where he strips the ball or whatever, and Draymond literally throws himself out all in his face and just smacks him with both ends in his face. Just flails out. Right? Like usually when you see players trying to, fake it or sell it, they go out, right? They try to do the little thing. No, every time he is all his limbs are headed and targeted towards the opposing player in front of him. And it's just you cannot behave the way you behaved this entire career and then go, the boy who cried wolf. It doesn't work that way, right? The NBA gives you the leash. Fine, beautiful, right? Use it. Take advantage of it. If the NBA is going to keep circumventing it so you don't get ejected, take advantage of it, right? You have that right. Go ahead, right? But you can't do that and then complain about it. It's just silly to me. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? You agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Do you think look, again, I would love somebody to list me out players that get the exact same treatment that Draymond gets. I tell you what, I'll help you out. It doesn't exist. That's why it keeps getting regularly called out. It's why even Draymond supporters are I'm not going to lie. He's just because it's the reality. No one in the league gets a leash as long as Draymond Green. And it is crazy to me. But again, let me know down in the comments. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my YouTube, link in the bio.